Yesterday was our nation's 250th birthday, a quarter millennium. It's a long time. I was a teenager in 1976 when we held a bicentennial. The 1970s were a turbulent period in some ways, like these days. We were licking our wounds from the Vietnam War. A president had resigned after the Watergate scandal. And it was an election year. We were about to elect a peanut farmer from Georgia as the next president. But people across the political spectrum still came together to celebrate the bicentennial, and it was a big deal. Coins were minted that said 1776 to 1976. And now on our 250th birthday as a nation, it doesn't seem like we're emphasizing it nearly as much. This is a big deal, but the celebrations seem a bit subdued in comparison to the bicentennial just 50 years ago. Being an American is so much more than a fireworks display. And even with all of our problems in this country, there is an argument to be made that this is still the most blessed nation on the earth. I'm not going to call it the greatest nation. I'll call it the most blessed nation because God has been so good to us. Thomas Jefferson once said, "How little do my countrymen know what precious blessings they are in possession of, and which no other people on earth enjoy." In recent weeks, some of the most poignant tributes to America have been articulated not by Americans, but by foreigners visiting the United States for the World Cup of soccer. Social media platforms are ablaze with videos from foreigners saying one after another, after another, after another, "This is not what I expected. The stadiums are amazing. The people here are genuinely nice and welcoming. So many of the negative things we hear about America and our native country are blown completely out of proportion or are simply not true." And these foreigners have seen our celebrations and our hospitality and participated in fireworks with the rest of us, and they've come away with a different impression. But I believe there is another memorial, significantly far more important, that can have the same kind of impact. The misinformation and prejudice people have against Christianity is arguably greater than the bias against America. Non-Christian Jewish leaders in Rome told an apostle to his face, "For with regard to this sect, we know that everywhere it is spoken against." Acts 28:22. Why would anyone want to be part of something like that? And today, modern followers of the same Jesus are accused of being hateful, narrow-minded bigots. In such a social environment, the Lord's Supper can be a great evangelistic tool because we come together to celebrate a memorial that can overturn people's biases and remind us how great our blessings are in Christ. For all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and we are justified by His grace as a gift through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus. Romans 3:23 and 24. Sometimes we do such a poor job of representing these blessings to others. But the Lord's Supper can help us proclaim the Lord's death until he comes. 1 Corinthians 11:26. Along with all the blessings he came to procure for us. Moreover, our earnest hope is to share those gifts with as many others as possible. The Lord's Supper is a celebration of the greatest blessings ever bestowed on anyone. It reminds us of an event that happened not 250 years ago, but about 2,000 years ago. It's so much more significant than the one that happened 250 years ago. And if spiritual fireworks are not going off when you remember what Jesus has done for you and what he wants to do for the whole world, then you're not doing this right.